you on that. So let's say we replace man with let's do black person. Does this question become racist? Like if you were to answer, I'd rather pick a bear over a black person.
Is it a black girl? Because I'd pick the black girl. Absolutely.
No, it's just a random black person. So it could be.
It doesn't matter their race. If it is a man, I will choose the bear.
So
if it
it's
is a woman,
sexist.
No.
It is.
But
you
okay.
can say that.
Wait,
you
but
can
hold
say
on.
that
But
if you want.
so
Because
hold
a
on.
woman.
It is.
But so let's say somebody.
not.
Let's say somebody picked the bear over black person. Is it racist?
No.
It is. I'm black.
No, but so.
I'm black.
But is it racist?
That's not off of my experience. I don't feel that way, and I'm not part of the POC community.
Here. Let me explain it a little bit. So let's say somebody.
I got a better way to.
Let me just ask it, and then I'll pass it to you, Andrew. So.
I think that would be prejudice more than racist.
It's semantics. That's semantics. It's the same shit.
Okay,
It's different,
So let's say
actually.
no. So somebody, let's say
Two different words.
A white girl had 3 bad experiences with 3 different black men, and for this reason, she doesn't want to. She'd pick the bear over the black man. Is it racist? Because of her past experiences with black men. And she says, I don't care, even if, because you said earlier, even if it's a 1% chance, I still pick the bear over the man.
But it was still a man that she picked versus.
What? Hold on.
I mean, it was still a bear that.
Okay, she had 2 bad experiences with a black man and 2 bad experiences with a black woman. And collectively, she's deciding, I pick the bear over the black person because I've had prior bad experiences with black people. Is it racist?
No, I think it would be racist if it was a white man versus a black man. If
Wait,
those,
what?
if we're talking about race here, that would be a more parallel situation.
Because it's a man?
No, but
If
it's
you
a
put
black
2
person.
people, no, if you put 2 people in a forest, if we're saying instead, if we swapped out the bear, if we wanted to make this really even, it would be racist if it was a white man in the forest versus a black man in the forest, and she said she picked the white over that for that reason, for that logic. But still picking a bear over a man,
No, it's not a man. It's a black person.
You said black man.
A black person.
No,
I think the question you're trying to ask is if we took your logic and applied that to other things, it would make no damn sense. So back to what I was saying real quick. I just think that it just wouldn't make no sense. What's being shown is, ladies and gentlemen, because I can't convince nobody here, people out there in YouTube, StreamYard land, this is why men are leaving, because women are on board with each other despite logic and science. It's all about women. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to have any logic. It's women overall. And women who feel like that are not making it better for other women coming up. Because men want to be with women, despite what it looks like, despite all the statistics. We do love you. We do want to be with you. But if you have this mentality, it's going to make men remove themselves from you in all areas. And I hate to bust your bubble, ladies. You need us.
Excuse me?
You do need us.
There is a male loneliness epidemic that's going on, but that is
Same with
not.
females.
Yeah, women
over.
But men are violent when they're incels.
Yes, women over, like. You can pull up the exact statistic because it is somewhere.
I have it in front of me, but the female loneliness epidemic is almost on par with the male. They report being lonely at almost the exact same rates.
People are lonely.
Yes, but what I'm saying is women who are over a certain age, who are childless, who are not in a relationship, report to have it's on the internet. I'm sure, I don't have my phone, so I can't look up the exact thing, but I'm sure someone else can.
They report having heavier amounts of mental health issues. They report having heavier amounts of dissatisfaction. They report having heavier amounts.
I think we're reading very different surveys.
Well, I don't think so. What you're talking about is an article. What I'm talking about is the actual data, which is backing this up, not an article, which then mints the
talking
data.
about a survey.
But this isn't just for women, right? This is men as well. When they get in their 30s or 40s and they're childless or don't have a family, they also report much higher dissatisfaction rates, higher frames of mental illness. They make less money. They have less incentives. They have less motivations. Basically, people need each other, right? That's the general motivation. If you were to look at this, though, I'd have to ask you this. I was listening to what you were saying, and I thought it made sense. But you said the thing that validates it is experience, and because it's experience, it's not really sexist. The thing that gets me with that is like, what if an employer was a man and he didn't want to ever hire women because he'd had really bad experiences with them? That couldn't be sexist, right? By that same logic, could it? Hang on, let her answer. That couldn't be sexist.
What were
right?
the experiences? Were all of the women in his life
They
raping
made false,
him?
let's say that several of them made false allegations,
Can-
and several of them underperformed, and several of them but he had nothing but negative experiences with them. And since that is what informed him in his hiring practices, and that was his experience, isn't he then justified in not hiring them? And wouldn't it not be sexist then, because it's based on experience?
So I'm going to have two parts, and I would like if everyone could allow me to finish all the
Sure.
way before interrupting. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
What I would say about that is it is sexist because we're talking about pay, and underperforming is not the same as being essayed. As someone
We're
who
not talking about pay.
yeah,
We're just talking about hiring. them.
hiring.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you're hiring someone, you're hiring them to pay them for a job that you're hiring them for.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with your relationship. You don't have to date them. You don't have to spend time with them.
You don't have to date the
You
man
don't
in the
have to.
forest.
You don't have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything with
Yeah.
the man in the forest.
But aren't you saying that they would be skeptical going into hiring
No, I'm
women?
saying-
Why
what
wouldn't
I'm
we
saying
be
is it's
skeptical
the
going
same-
into that?
I'm
But-
just telling you it's the same logic. That's all. It's the same logic applied.
So what I'm saying though is from personal experience, what I was explaining from personal experience as someone who has been essayed, I would rather take my own life than have that happen again. And
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
understand that.
saying is there is nothing worse for me, in my opinion. This is my opinion. There is nothing that someone can do worse to you than that.
I'm not disputing any of that.
So what I'm saying is underperforming and having the worst thing done to you cannot even be equated in this situation.
Okay, wait. Let's back up though, because I understand exactly what you're saying. It makes total sense to me. This is the most horrific thing you could ever think of, and so you're going to select against that thing because this thing happening to you again, you'd rather anything else, including getting eaten by a bear, happen than the thing. I completely understand that. The question is not whether or not SA is really, really bad and you had a traumatic experience with it, though. The question is that it's sexist regardless of how it's informed? You said, no, it's not sexist because that is my experience. And it's like, okay, then if it's not sexist because it's your experience, then a man who was falsely accused of SA in his hiring practices, let's say, would be completely justified never hiring a woman again by the
Okay,
same
yeah.
logic, because he
But
says
by
this is
that,
the worst
not
thing. He can
underperforming.
hang on, I'm almost done. I just let you finish. He could use the same logic. He could say, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Nothing worse. I can never imagine anything worse than this. I'd rather anything happen than this again. So he refuses to hire a woman that's totally justified based on his experience. The same logic back to you.
Yes. If that
Yes.
is the situation, initially you said underperforming and you listed a
So
couple
then it's
of other
not
things.
sexist.
Yes.
So then he's
it's-
not being sexist.
If we're
right?
talking about that, then yeah, that wouldn't be sexist.
Yeah, right. So
If we're-
then
yeah.
any man who's ever had a false allegation against him, right, and then refuses to hire women after that because of that false allegation, you think that's totally valid.
I think that's valid. Yes. Why put
And
yourself
so,
in that
and it's
situation?
not sexist, right?
Yeah. Don't put
Okay,
yourself in
well
that situation.
then
That's
if
fine.
I gave you a list of men who that's happened to, right? I can name a couple, but the point is that if I gave you a list of like Fortune 500 company executive CEOs who said that they want to advocate a policy that no more women get hired by their company because such a thing did happen to them,
Are they
you
working
would
with those
never
women,
say
though?
that was sexist, right?
Well, that's different if they're CEOs and they're completely detached from ever interacting with any of those women. I said it wouldn't be sexist for them to not want to work with those women.
No, that's not what you said.
But have those
That's not
when
what you
I'm
just
thinking
changed
I'm
the
thinking of
whole
like a
goalpost
restaurant
now.
owner. I'm thinking of, someone who has to have someone they're hiring women and those women are directly working with them. That's what I envisioned when you said women work for them and hiring women, and because they're interacting with them and they don't want that.
I would assume that based on what you told me your experience is, being anywhere near a situation which could potentially lead to that, which is what we're talking about, spawning into a forest with a random man or a random bear, right? Just the fact you said if it's even 1% that you would not choose that. The CEO of the company is saying the same thing. If it's even 1%, even though I'm detached from these people, I'm definitely not going to hire them. It's the same exact logic. Same.
No, because if you're the CEO, there is not even a 1% chance that you're going to interact with those people. You're not going
No,
down and
you said
hanging
if
out with
it's
them.
even, meaning if it was
Yes.
less than that, you still wouldn't take it. You said if it's
Yes,
anything,
yes,
if it's
you're
any
not-
percentile,
what
if there's any
CEO
chance.
is going
so
and
here, I'm going to
interacting
prove it
with
to you.
them?
I'll prove it to you. Do you think, statistically, that a woman can accuse you of SA easier if you hire them or if you don't hire them?
If Jeff
if
Bezos hired me and then I accused him of that after never meeting him, I think it would be just as invalid if I was not hired by him. Actually, I think it would be more invalid because then it's like
Yeah, but
no
the
paper
whole
trail.
point here is the disassociation. The idea here is this. It's not whether or not the chances would be unlikely for both, just which thing there'd be a higher chance for.
I don't
In this
see
case,
any
of course, the chance would be higher that if a woman doesn't in any way or any capacity have anything to do with your company or you, her chance of accusing you of SA significantly go down versus her being closer to you. So if that's the case, same logic as if there was any percentage at all that this could ever happen to me, I'm choosing the bear. And that's totally appropriate and not sexist. And the reason it's not sexist is because it comes from a place of experience. That would be the same thing for a CEO.
Can I chime in? So to be sexist, to be
I would
racist.
like her to just finish real quick. We're almost done. Almost done with the exchange. I would just like to finish it real quick. Can you speak to that real quick? Because it's the same logic. That's why I don't understand.
I think that it's not the same logic only for the reason that you are physically in the company of one and the CEO is not physically in the company or physically in danger of being in a compromising position with one of their 12,000, 60,000 employees, whatever crazy number they
you said
have.
if there's any percentage, if there
Yes,
was
but there wouldn't
any
be a percentage if
that
they
this
never
could lead to
interacted with
this,
them.
You would never do it.
They would
So if
never interact with
So
them.
Brian
I'm
asked you this. He asked you.
confused.
He said, if the chances were, and he gave you a low say. He said, if there's any chance, if it's even 1%, if it's less than that, there's any chance at all that this could happen to you, then no, you're not doing it and you're picking the bear because this is the worst thing that could ever happen to you. If the CEO was falsely accused, okay, if he was falsely accused even once, and then says, I'll never hire a woman again, just because there could be a chance, and this is the worst thing that's ever happened. It's the same thing you just said.
Okay, well, if we're going by that logic, then sure, he doesn't have to hire any woman on for the company. With the bear situation, I said that even if it was 1% chance, I would choose dying and not getting SA'd over that 1% chance. My punishment or my penalty for taking that is death. His penalty for not hiring any woman is probably getting boycotted. So yeah, you can do anything you want technically. We're all born with free will. But
Hold on, I do
that's
have to
your
let a couple
penalty.
things come through here. Burmese Mountain Tiger gifted 50 subs. By the way, Burmese, I think I have. Did I? I think you have a custom thing here. Let me just check 1 sec here.
Brian, I got ordered out. I got a flight I got to catch in the morning.
Oh, I thought you could stay until.
It's midnight my time. Yeah.
Oh, your time. Hold on.
Yep.
Oh shoot. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
Yep. Sorry about that. I gotta fly out tomorrow.
Do you want to wrap up? Did you want to wrap up on anything, or do you just have a heart out?
Yeah, I do have a hard out. I got to
No
get
worries,
up in
no
literally
worries.
4 hours and do this.
Okay,
Guys,
that's
it was
fine.
very nice to meet you. I really enjoyed the spirited discussion.
Andrew, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, it was very nice to meet all of you, and you too, sir. I hope you enjoy. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care.
Yeah, shoot us a raid, Andrew. Thank you for tuning in, man. Good luck with the Timcast thing or whatever. All right, man. Okay, hold on. I gotta let a couple things come through, then we'll come back to the conversation. Burmese Mountain Tiger gifted 100 subs on Twitch. Dude, thank you so much, man. You're a fucking legend. Kendall Sanders became a member, and then let's see here. We had this one that already came through. We have a couple chats that came through. I have to read something from Andrew, if you're still listening. Oh, he left. Okay, well, Millionaire Bachelor, I'm not going to read your full message, but Andrew, your hit piece was weak as fuck. That's all I'll read for that, Millionaire. So, okay. And then we have 3 from Lucas. These came in a while ago, so it's about, I think, wait, hold on. Let's see. Lucas, I was on the subway, NYC subway, heading to work the other day. A young woman was attacked. Not a single man even looked up to see what was going on, let alone help. A man is in his late 20s standing next to me. And then he says, by the way, Lucas, thank you so much for the messages. Appreciate it. Turned to me and said, looks like that bear's got to save her. Congratulations, ladies. You reap what you sow, with the exception of my daughter, wife, and mother. You can literally be on fire in front. Hold on. And then there's another one. Looks like the bear's got to save her. Hey, man, chivalry is dead and the bear killed it, right? Okay. Burning to a crisp and I wouldn't even piss on you.
He's so upset.
Wait, where is it?
Upset.
Wouldn't even piss on you to save your life. Your widespread implicit vilification of men is abhorrent. You're a bunch of snot-nosed, delusionally entitled ingrates.
You see, I was going to add and say that I changed my opinion with all the facts, but that was...
Yeah.
You're...
All it takes is
very
1%.
You're telling on yourself.
It takes 1%. It's all over because
like
one
you
guy.
just kind of just but I do change my answer because you guys fact checked it, and I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, I'm this. No, I'm listening to your facts.
And I respect that. See,
I
that's
listen to
all
your
we
facts.
want. That's all. Just don't fight logic.
Because honestly,
like you punch yourself.
how I see it as it is, it's a people problem. It's not a women or men problem. It's a people problem.
Thank you.
Women can do it, men can do it. We're all doing it to each other. It's an issue. We shouldn't do it.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Because the point is, this right here, we should be trying to come together to some degree. This is these conversations and this logic we have, it only brings separation because eventually men are just going to say, you got it, and you might find yourself in a situation where you might need a random man's help. But why would a random man help you when you say the things you say? So, hey, men have created this luxury where it created a world where women have the luxury to even critique men in these ways. But men
But
even
you were
created that.
critiquing women about being provocative and wearing
I mean, they do
clothing,
it, but
and how that's not your preference and stuff.
But
What's wrong
But
with
that's-
that?
what that got to do with
I
picking a bear over a man?
No, I'm just saying that you were saying stuff about that, so why can't we have our opinions about things
No,
that happen
you
to
can
us?
have an opinion, but I'm talking about logic. What I'm saying is you dress in a certain way online based on women's complaints. I hear women saying, where's the guys at? So I'm addressing a gripe that you have. If that's your gripe, dress up. I don't hear men complaining about being picked over a bear. So that's not an issue we're having. Women are having issues with meeting good guys or meeting high quality guys, or maybe not you, women, but a lot of women have that issue. So it's like maybe you should dress a little different. Maybe you should be a little more reserved. Maybe you should be a little more modest to fit your complaint. Men are not complaining about being picked over a bear. Not like this is the scenario that women are saying. So I'm just dealing with the logic. It's logic in telling a woman to cover herself up. Whether I'm in her life or not, that's good advice. Whether she got a man in her life or not.
But also, like, when women dress like that, they get more attention from men, so then that kind of confuses women.
We both be pointing fingers at each other. We both do the part. It's both sides. Like, we constantly point fingers. You know, people guys buy porn, but we also provide the porn, you know, OnlyFans and stuff like that.
Okay, a couple things here to wrap up here on the whole man versus bear thing. Let's see, hold on. Have any of you had a one night stand?
No.
Never
Yeah,
had a one
definitely.
night stand?
Yes.
It's just confusing to me, this whole like bear thing. It's like the same women who will like go out, have a one night stand, but you pick the bear. I don't know. That's confusing.
What does that have to do with the bear?
Because
You're literally putting yourself alone in a room with a man.
I want to say you put yourself in a room with a stranger, so like that's the same scenario. I guess
It's like the same exact scenario, but